Am I the astronaut? I was straight disrespected at Rib Crib. Let me explain the situation. My girlfriend and I were hungry, starving. We did the classic back and forth dance. What do you want for dinner? No idea. What do you want? No idea. We finally settled on Rib Crib. Yeah, man, a nice barbecue burger, some wings, some fries, that's the stuff. The sound of some good food was music to our ears. So we went online, placed our order for curbside pickup, and headed to the restaurant. When we arrived, the parking lot was mostly empty. Good, I thought. Quick pickup, right? My girlfriend called the restaurant number for curbside. We waited 5 minutes. Nothing. Finally, someone picked up. Hello, they stated. Hi, I have a curbside pickup under so-and-so. We're outside in spot 1. She politely responded. The worker scoffed and exclaimed that they were still working on our food. It was already 5 minutes after the pickup time, and there were like 3 cars in the parking lot, but I digress. We politely said okay, and that we'd be in the curbside spot. Another 10 minutes passed. Nothing. So my girlfriend urged me, the cavalry, to go inside and grab our food. So that's what I did. I went inside and waited at the pickup booth. Nobody was there. There were a few employees texting and laughing in the aisle, and the kitchen seemed pretty tame. There was one table that had an elderly couple, but that was literally the only customers I saw inside. I decided to move to the front check-in area, thinking maybe they hadn't seen me. Still ignored. I could clearly see all of the employees loitering, doing nothing on their phones, etc. Now, I'm not the one to be a Karen, but my inner Karen was boiling up. Release the Karen! Excuse me? I spoke up loudly. A woman cocked her head and looked at me, hobbling over unhappily to the front host stand. What do you need? She asked. I scoffed. I have a curbside pickup. We called about 20 minutes ago, and I was told the food would be out shortly, and we've heard nothing since then. She looked at me unhappily. Name? She asked. I responded, and she walked back into the kitchen. Another 5 minutes pass, and she brings out our food in a bag while texting. She barely even holds her arm up to give me the food, not breaking from her text for a second. I was seeing red. Could you please hand it to me? I asked. She looked up angrily and raised her arm before dropping our food. Purposefully, I know it. She smiled and said, "Oh no, I'm sorry," and continued to just stare at me. I picked up our food and examined it. The boxes had taken minimal damage, and at this point, I was at the mercy of my hungry girlfriend if I didn't get the food back to her. The employee had already retreated back to the kitchen, so I just left, the hangry fires of my stomach roaring with rage. I explained the situation to my girlfriend, and she was livid. So we ate our food, which was a bit cold but still decent, thankfully, and then called the store, asking to speak to the manager. You'll never guess who answered. The same woman. My girlfriend tore into her, explaining how we wanted our money back. Silence. Then the phone call disconnects. Unbelievable. The next afternoon, I went in to speak directly with her or a different manager. As it turns out, she is absolutely not a manager. But the actual manager, a kind old gentleman, had stepped out for the night and left a shift lead in charge, who was also not her. But she decided to take the phone call, and the shift lead who was in charge let her. I told the manager how upset I was at my experience, and he was bewildered. I don't know what happened next, but I got my money back, and I know that I never saw her there again. I think I got her fired. Good riddance. Do you think I'm the crab ass for this? Too long don't read. I was straight disrespected at Rib Crib, but I got revenge, I think. Man. Yeah, this is an NTA. This is 100% an NTA. The question is, we've got to go back and make sure we're answering the direct question. Am I the astronaut? I was straight disrespected at Rib Crib. Well, I mean, it's in this situation. No, you were not the astronaut at all. Unfortunately, it seems like the benchmark or the baseline for customer service is going lower and lower and lower over time. And I know I sound like a grumpy old man, and maybe at 42, I'm just a little bit grumpier now, but it definitely seems like the standard is just looser and lower and lower and lower and lower. When we come across like a really stellar server, we make sure to let them know that like, hey, you were great, and don't let this shit world of customer service and what's happening all around you discourage you, because you were really great at what you do. And the experience that you get while doing this is going to take you so much further. It's going to be fantastic for people who really dive in and give a shit and are good and care. This is the part that I don't get. I don't get it. And we saw it when we worked at Outback Steakhouse, Candy Thunder. It is the mentality of I'm here, I'm at work. My income is dictated by the amount of effort I put in. right? The better job I do at waiting tables, the better service I give people, the better money I make. Most of the time. Doesn't always work like that. Sometimes you're not going to be able to make a difference, and that's fine. It happens. But there's so many people even then that would show up and be like, I just don't really want to be here. Do you want my tables? And I'm like, hell yeah, I want your tables. I'll run this whole damn restaurant. The more tables, the more money. I was there to work. I was there for a job. So people, it's not just restaurants, it's anything, but I think restaurants are one of the areas where if it's slow, like things get tough. There's an idle hands problem, and a lot of people start getting into this lackadaisical mentality, and then they just don't want to do anything, and then they start showing up to work, but they don't want to do anything. I'm like, why are you here? Why are you here? Because it's cush. But as a server, you only get like $2 an hour. Like, you need tips to survive. You have to be good. You have to try. I don't understand. I do not understand. Also, I don't understand how if this gal who did this shit, if this happened to her, I'm sure she would have thrown a shit fit. She would have absolutely not been okay with it. She would have been terrible and very upset about it, but is 100% okay doing that to other people. Also, it being completely dead in there and what, a dozen people walking by and just paying no attention, not okay. It's not okay. It's a lack of leadership. And I say that because typically when you have an organization like this, you have a restaurant, you have a lot of servers, that's a lot of young, malleable people. If you have a lazy leader or a lazy boss, everyone else is going to follow suit. If you have somebody who is an actual leader that can inspire them, make them better people, they are going to do a good job. This is a lack of leadership. And obviously the actual manager had to step out and learned his lesson there. Learned his lesson trying to let somebody else take charge because it just ran it into the ground. And now he's probably going to answer to corporate. I don't know. Is that a chain or is it a franchise? I'm not sure. But it's NTA. And unfortunately, this kind of crap happens more and more often. And I don't know why.